What is up, everybody? It's University here today, and we have to talk about this Luminous Productions, the development studio behind Forspoken, has said they are no longer being a studio anymore. They are being uh what do you call it? Like being absolved into Square Enix as a whole. They gave out this announcement yesterday that hey, we're no longer a studio. We're gonna be absolved back into Square Enix. They still promises they're not gonna completely abandon the game. They're gonna do patches and release the DLC that's coming out for the game. But this studio is no more. And so this is kind of crazy because I remember like 2, 3 weeks ago when the whole MPD thing happened, when people were saying, "Hey, Forspoken is doing well because it's number 7 on MPD." Sony fanboys were celebrating it. And they were saying Hi-Fi Rush was a flop, even though that got the most praise out of the media. It was some weird Jedi mind tricks people were trying to do with this game compared to Hi-Fi Rush. But this studio's no more. So obviously the game didn't do well. It flopped. It's obvious. It's like what this guy says. Sony fanboys tried to convince everyone that Forspoken was a success. Well, this shows otherwise. If they're not no longer a studio, that's not a success to them. In reality, the game flopped so bad that it literally killed the studio that made it. Yeah, they killed the studio. And it was one tweet that I'm like, it's kind of funny, but this is it's kind of messed up, kind of funny. So this is the main character saying, "I just killed the game studio with my freaking mind." It's a little bit of dark humor right here because I don't think people lost their jobs. Technically, just got moved to someplace else, but they're no longer a studio. But yeah, you definitely killed the studio, wherever her name is, with this game right here. But yeah, let's just see what people have to say about this. Didn't support the devs. Yeah, I don't know why Square Enix accepted Sony's money on this to make this a time exclusive. You kind of think this new IP that's getting like mediocre. People were saying the game looks mediocre. It probably should be on all platforms. People can buy the game at least to support it. But I guess Sony's money screwed them in the end at the end of this because this is not a win for Square Enix or Sony. Luminous was Square Enix Business Division 2 before it got tasked with becoming a walking ad for a Square Enix Luminous engine. All public sales data shows it so well. What are you talking about? Consider Googling it in the future. So apparently everything is fine. It's so well. This reminds me. These people saying it's so well. This person said it's so well. This is like the dog, that meme of a dog that's like in a house on fire, and he's like, everything is fine while everything is up in smoke. The house is on fire. Everything is just fine here, people. Even though the studio is no longer a studio, everything is fine here. It's not a problem whatsoever. The studio is no longer a studio now. That is bad though. Jeez. It just merged. Doesn't mean anything. Yes, the studio is no longer there, but it doesn't mean anything. They're just fine, guys. I bet when these guys see a car accident or a horrible car accident, they see the person who able to climb with the car is missing an arm. They still ask the person, "Is everything all right?" Like obviously everything is not all right. The person is missing a freaking arm. So this I just feel they're the type of people who say, "Is everything okay?" after the person just missing an arm from a car accident. It's like, what else do you to say that everything is not all right? But this person says, "Hope everyone keeps their jobs. Never cool to see people lose them. Yeah, you don't want to see people lose their jobs, but this is obviously not good." But let's move on. Remember when these Chuckle D's, this is a new term right here, were trying to claim Forspoken was doing great because it was in the top 10 charts? Now its studios is merging into Square Enix, just like Volition had to merge with Gearbox after Saints Row failed, which that wasn't a good thing right there either. But yeah, I remember these comments. I covered these comments in the video when this whole MPD debacle came out. I was told Hi-Fi Rush also Forspoken. I was told Forspoken was a flop. Well, that turned out to be true. I was told Hi-Fi Rush was Game of the Year. It hasn't been determined yet. I was told everyone thinks Forspoken is trash and Hi-Fi Rush killed it. Oh man, did he kind of predict this right here? Yeah, Forspoken is on MPD. Yes, and where is Hi-Fi Rush at? Yes, that's all that matters is MPD. The number 7 spot on MPD, that's all that matters. Even though the studio is no longer here, but as long as they got on MPD, that's all that matters for this guy. It's just like really. And then this other person. January NPD is out. What was the game these stands were saying? Also, Forspoken again? I don't see it. Talking all this crap about Hi-Fi Rush not being on NPD, but so happy that Forspoken is number 7. Meanwhile, Forspoken is no longer here. Their studio is no longer here. So, and this is very quick after the game release. Like this was done in a very short amount of time too. Like at least like around a month or even less than that probably. The studio is no longer here at this point, so that's interesting. And then at the same time, while Forspoken is getting there, like saying, "Hey, we're closing down," Hi-Fi Rush is getting major success. They just announced a major milestone. What a crowd! Too many players have enjoyed Hi-Fi Rush, and we can't thank you enough. So, the complete opposite of what we were seeing from these two fanboys right here. They were saying, "Hey, Hi-Fi Rush is not that great because you don't see the NPD," but right here, it's like they're getting accolades and these major props while the other studio is shutting down. So. Interesting, say nonetheless, but like I said before, Sony fanboys need to stop making definitive statements. They just stop making statements like this because it always bites them in the butt. Like they literally eat their words because they were praising this one game saying it has top 7, but that studio is closing down. People are just trying to say, "Hey, everything is fine" after the studio is closing down. Like I don't know why would somebody be like everything is fine after the studio just closed down. Like. This is a weird timeline in history where people are saying everything is fine, even though they just saw a studio close down. But this is weird. Even though people might keep their job, they're not going to keep their whole like position they had before in their own studio. So it's not the same thing. People want to say it's the same. It's not. Almost no one was trying to convince anyone this game was a success. Oh, this guy is definitely wrong. There was proof. There was definitely people on the Sony fanboy side trying to convince people that this game was doing extremely well. When it's like anybody with a brain said that this game was not doing well. Like just how the media reception of this game was, the user score on Metacritic, just people overall, the word of mouth for this game was not great. So it's a no-brainer this game wasn't doing well. But we got top 7 on NPD though. That's all that matters to these guys. Jeez. That is not the company you want to get absorbed into. Yeah, they got a weird history of like doing their other companies dirty. Like even Tomb Raider. I thought the Tomb Raider remakes did extremely well, but even they was not happy with those games. So Square Enix is definitely a weird company to be a part of. It's like the it's like the only mainline games they care about is the mainline Final Fantasy games. That's it. Like everything else is like that could be on a chopping block. To be honest, if it's not Final Fantasy, they can just get rid of it. This is lies, bro. I heard Pony support the devs. That was a lie. They usually follow soon to be carcasses gonna get what they can from that wreck. It's that $70 Sony Pass quality, and I blame the Series S. Yes, the Series S is responsible for why these Sony guys aren't buying games on their platform. They're supposed to be sound exclusives. Yeah, pretty accurate. Hi-Fi Rush survived, saying deuces while the Luminous Products is RIP at this point. Like, once again, I'm not trying to make mockery of these people losing their studio, but it's just like these Sony guys were just they were bragging so much when it's like, really, you can't see the obvious what's going to happen here with this game, just the bad reception it's getting. I'm just happy. I'm just shocked it happened this fast. They should have done this fast. Like maybe with a sequel, the game could have done a lot better. I think all these games, to be honest, even if a game flops, I think a sequel would make it be a lot better. Like the Days Gone game. You guys remember how they were talking about that? How Days Gone was gonna get a sequel, but it got sacrificed to bring out the Last of Us remake, which I still think was a stupid decision. I would rather have the Days Gone sequel, but. Yeah, these games don't do amazing out the park. They don't get a chance to get a sequel for most of the times, which kind of sucks. But I think most of these games would do a lot better with a sequel. So sucks, but it is what it is at this point. What does this comedy just say? Literally, how much crack does Xbox players smoke considering the studio was originally part of Square Enix when they were developing Final Fantasy 15 and when they were originally developing Kingdom Hearts 3. Then the Kingdom Hearts team dropped the engine for Unreal. So what is he saying? Either way, no matter all this stuff we typed out, the game flopped. It's like they don't get back to what they were doing before, back to Kingdom Hearts, back to Final Fantasy, which I'm pretty sure they don't want to do because they made their own game. So I don't know how y'all trying to spin it like everything is fine, but it's obviously not fine. It's like, it's just funny, the cope they're trying to do right here. But I am gonna include it right here. Definitely see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.